Hey everybody, this is A.D. Wheeler from the Explorographer.com and House Lightbender at the Arcanum. Today I'm going to show you how to selectively deghost a 32-bit HDR in Lightroom and Photomatix Pro. Okay, let's get started. So say we want to select 3 photos and merge them together in Lightroom and Photomatix Pro in 32-bit. The only options that we generally have when we're doing that are the deghosting options that are default in Photomatix. Let me show you what that looks like. Here's the dialog for the merge to 32-bit HDR, and you can see here we have remove ghosts, and we essentially have high and normal. If we use this and we just let the program try to figure out what to deghost, we usually end up with something like this. And as you can see here, the geese were moving in this shot, and unfortunately we've had a little bit of separation going on here, and it hasn't done a very good job. You can see there are all sorts of what I would call artifacts. So what we have to do is 32-bit selectively deghost, and there's kind of a trick that you have to do with Photomatix to get this to happen. Now Lightroom CC now has this new merge to 32-bit, but that also lends some results that aren't that good as well, and you end up with the artifacts. In fact, this particular photo was actually merged in 32-bit, this one here, and that's what happened. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to selectively deghost. So we have our 3 exposures here, and these were donated by my apprentice Joe Sassone. We appreciate that, Joe. But we're going to show Joe how to selectively deghost these in Photomatix. So we have our 3 exposures selected here. We're going to right click and we're going to export. Now normally we would export to the merge to 32-bit plugin, which is right here, but we're actually going to just send it out to Photomatix Pro. Okay? So don't be afraid, this is not going to be 16-bit when we get done. We want to make sure that we have all the proper options selected here, but most importantly, we want to show options to remove ghosts. That's very important. Alright, once we have all that selected, we're going to hit export. We're going to allow Photomatix to load up here. Okay, once Photomatix is loaded up, the very first thing we're going to see is deghosting options. We want to select the selective deghosting box up here at the top. Now the next thing I want to do is zoom in a little bit because I'm going to need to take a closer look at this so that I get it right. So there's 2 key areas here. We have the geese themselves, and then we have the people in the background, and both those are going to need to be deghosted separately. It's as simple as drawing around each of the items individually. So we're going to put a part there. And we're also going to add another selection here for this gaggle over on this side. And then for the people gaggle in the back, we're going to go ahead and circle them as well. You want to make sure you stay far enough out on the outside so that you capture enough of the blending area. Okay, once we have those selected, we can hit the preview deghosting button. Now what we're checking for here is exposure, and obviously no artifacts. So it's taken one of the exposures and it's blended it into our final product. And you can see which one by right-clicking and then select another photo from the selection. So you can see here that it is selecting our 0 EV, which is usually the right one to select. You can also choose which one you would like it to select from another option. It does a really good job of blending those in, but I generally will go with what the program suggests. Alright, so once you have that, you just hit OK to assemble the HDR. Okay, so here we can see Photomatix Pro has finished merging the file, and all our geese look great. There's no artifacts, everything is groovy. But what we're looking at here is the 16-bit file, and we actually want the 32-bit file, and it's hidden. So I'm going to show you how to get that file back into Lightroom. So first off, we're going to click on the close to the 16-bit file, and that's going to shove us back into Lightroom. Okay, so you might have seen briefly there that there was another file that actually popped up. So if we open up Photomatix again, we can see that our 32-bit file is actually left here in Photomatix, and we need to save that off. So if you come up here to File and then down to Save As, So you're going to want to make sure that you save this back to the original folder where you got your 3 brackets from. So you'll have to actually use your Finder or File Explorer from within Photomatix to actually find that folder. Once you do, just save that file in there. There we go. Now you can close this and you can close Photomatix and go back into Lightroom. All right, there's one final trick here because our photo won't show up until we right click and select Synchronize Photo. And you'll see there's one photo that shows up. And there we go. There's our 32-bit photo now within Lightroom. And we can see that there are no artifacts at all. Everything looks great. We'll just adjust some stuff here just to kind of take a look. All right. So we thank Joe Sassone for donating these files so that we could explain selective deghosting on a 32-bit HDR file using Photomatix Pro and Lightroom. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.